My god, this was the most asinine bullshit ending I have ever seen in the entire history of television. Oh, sorry, I just finished Breaking Bad Season 2. Back to this great episode of My Little Pony. I give you bronies too much credit. I thought this turning into Breezies thing is so insignificant that you can handle it with dignity. But silly me, of course you went crazy about it. I'm not saying that it isn't stupid. I'm not telling you not to be bothered by it. I'm telling you to shut up. We're gonna get back to it later. So the story is about a group of Breezies, tiny fairy pony creatures first introduced in the third generation of the My Little Pony legacy. The Breezies are from a different dimension or realm, and they've come here for a few days to collect pollen for themselves for some reason. They are probably eating it, but it doesn't seem to be enough for all of them, considering that they will not come back for a long time. I mean, that goodbye at the end looked pretty final. Also, this pollen thing doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So the Breezies need a natural breeze to activate their own magic, which keeps the pollen from going bad. Which is weird because honey is known for the fact that it expires really slowly. It stays good for long years. Of course, pollen isn't honey, but still. Anyway, it looks like it can stay without breeze for a few hours without going bad, but not for days. But the fact that they fly should create a breeze in itself, so I don't know why they need Pegasi. And what happens when they arrive at home? Either they use up the pollen for whatever reason they need it for immediately, or they keep it under breeze there, which suggests that they are able to create breeze for themselves, which also means that they wouldn't need the Pegasi. And this is my biggest gripe against the episode. The setup doesn't make sense at all, and it's unnecessary if you think about it, since the Breezes apparently arrived to Ponyville without the help of any Pegasi. But when they enter the town, they immediately need the help of Rainbow Dash's team. The story would work without the pollen magic plot point too. Imagine this. The Breezes fly over Ponyville. The leaf spike broke off the tree, disturbs the group the same way it happened in the episode. The Breezes become traumatized by the events, so they don't have the courage to move forward, which is what happened in the episode in my opinion. However, the portal to their home is about to be closed, which is a good plot point to have a time limit, and it makes perfect sense. So the Breezes still need to be convinced to get over their fear and move on, and nothing will change story-wise. What probably happened was that the episode needed a time limit, and the writer made up two things, the pollen going bad and the portal closing. She needed to choose one of them, but she accidentally left both of them in the script, and when she realized her mistake, the episode was already animated and everything. She was extremely shocked by it, so she wanted to calm herself down with alcohol. She became more drunk and high than she ever was, and as she was laying next to the highway in the grass, she saw a bald eagle in the sky, and she got an amazing idea for a joke. She immediately wrote an episode around it, what became Pinky Apple Pie. She thought that she can redeem herself with it, and after the fans see the episode, they will forgive her for the mistake she made in It Ain't Easy Being Breezies. But the plan failed because the episodes aired in a different order. So she decided to write her own comic, Cannibal Amazons on Mars. After the leaf incident, we are introduced to a smaller group of Breezes, led by our secondary main character, Seabreeze.
Absolutely flawless.
And after seeing how scared the Breezes are, Fluttershy suggests that they should rest for a few minutes. After the group settles in at Fluttershy, they make it clear that they don't want to leave. The only one who's pushing them and Fluttershy to continue their journey is Seabreeze.
Absolutely flawless.
This is why I think the rest of the Breezes are traumatized. Their home looks like a really nice place to live, so they don't have any reason not to try to get back there. But the journey must have been really dangerous and tiring so far. So, since they are idiots, they decide to stay at Fluttershy as long as possible. It's still interesting. They are supposed to be an elite squad on pollen collecting duty. I'm beginning to think that these guys didn't get the proper training. Since Fluttershy wants to be the most kind, polite host possible, she doesn't want to send them away, since that would be against her personality. She provides comfort and safety for the Breezies, and despite the fact that she knows they have to leave as soon as possible, she doesn't realize its urgency until she actually sees what can happen to a Breezy in Ponyville. After she saves Seabreeze
Absolutely flawless.
from the bees. The sequence leading up to that is really convincing. It was actually pretty scary and intense. Here I should mention that the sound direction is very good in this episode. It does a great job at showing the world from the Breeze's point of view. Fluttershy realizes that although the Breezes are safe in her cottage for now, she can't let them stay in Ponyville. I really like that she actually says that they would never survive there. So Fluttershy learns that she has to push away the Breezes for their own benefit, which is hard for her because she doesn't want to turn anyone against herself. And most of the time in real life, in these situations when you push someone away, they will no longer be your friends and they will start to dislike you. Luckily, the Breezes seem to be understanding and they appreciate Fluttershy's actions. I love this moral, and in season 4 we had a lot of similar lessons to this. I love this show because the characters aren't learning to be generous. They learn not to lose their generous spirit even if someone takes advantage of it. These are lessons not everyone knows, and some people might disagree with them. These lessons are actual lessons, things that you can discuss with others and have actual arguments about. It's amazing that the show progressed this far, and it makes me more comfortable recommending it to people. Now let's talk a little bit about Seabreeze. He is
Absolutely flawless.
okay, that's enough about him. The Breezes decide to go home, but the Pegasi can't create a tender breeze enough for them because there are so few of them. They can't handle a breeze that strong, so Twilight has an idea.
I've been studying an old spellbook from the Castle of the Two Sisters. There's a spell that I think could help us. This is probably gonna feel a little funny at first, but you're gonna have to trust me. I love new ideas that make me feel funny at first!
What? I thought it was supposed to be a kids show.
And she ends up turning herself and the girls into Breezes. I too think that from a storytelling standpoint this isn't executed well, and to be honest, Twilight, why didn't you turn the Breezes into ponies? The journey would have been less dangerous and they could have still created a breeze to keep the pollen from rotting. But of course I understand that they wanted to promote the main 6 Breezy toys. This is something about the show I learned to accept. We are 4 seasons in and things like this happened already. Shining Armor and Cadence, the Crystal Ponies, Princess Twilight, and every episode of the show actually. I know what kind of show I'm watching, and although I still don't think these are well executed advertisements, I'm not bothered by them anymore. But the main reason I'm okay with this transformation is that the episode is technically over by this point. Fluttershy and Seabreeze
Absolutely flawless.
both have learned their lessons, and the Breezes decided to go home. The only thing left is just to give a closure to this story. Fluttershy gets her key in form of a flower, and Twilight turns them back into ponies.
So, I've always kind of wondered what it would be like to be a griffin. Not a chance.
Haha, fuck you, Twilight. The spell clearly isn't hard to do. You can reverse it anytime with ease. Why don't turn her into a griffin? I'm not abusing my powers. Fuck you, you whore. Can't you just be a good friend or the opposite of a stuck-up bitch? It Ain't Easy Being Breezies gets a 3.2 out of 4.
Oh, flower went into my eye. I mean cocaine. I'm cool, I swear.